This segment of CoastLife is sponsored by Coastal Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning.
Think about that HVAC system. Has it been not heating as thoroughly as it should? Maybe not cooling down your house as thoroughly as it should, and you're thinking something's up? Well, it could be time to either repair it or could be time to replace it. And the folks that can kind of walk you through that decision-making process is, of course, our friends from Coastal Comfort. We've got Lacey and Tim joining us. Welcome back, you guys.
Thank you so much for having us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we love having you here. I always feel like I walk away learning so much about HVAC systems that questions I didn't even know I was supposed to have. And this is kind of one of those situations where homeowners end up facing repair or replace. Which is it? When is the time? What's the better option? And you guys really are the pros to walk people through that process.
Definitely. So homeowners are faced with that decision all the time, and it can be a difficult one. You know, if your system's getting a little bit of age, but it's a possibility to replace it or repair it, which way should we go? So some factors that we help homeowners, consider when making that decision is, one, the age of the system. So if the system is out of warranty, you definitely want to weigh the options. So if it's a relatively inexpensive repair, maybe it's a control board, a capacitor, maybe a fan motor, something along those lines, it's on the less expensive end, then it would make sense to probably go ahead and repair that system, especially if it's under any sort of manufacturer warranty. It doesn't make sense to take the expense of replacing the full system. But once we get a system that's a little bit older, it's out of warranty, and you have a major expense, which is typically on the refrigerant circuit. So we're talking about an evaporator coil, condenser coil, compressor, something along those lines. Those repairs are both labor intensive. You have the cost of the part as well as the refrigerant cost as well. So that is a good time to start really weighing the options and putting the investment of several $1,000s for the repair and try to get that system back under warranty. Another situation where you would want to consider replacing the system is if your system, as you mentioned, isn't heating or cooling as you expected, but it is operating properly. It could be over 15, 20, 25 years old, as we've seen some well into the 30s.
Oh yeah, and that thing's tired.
So sometimes we see this just not keeping up, and it could sometimes be an efficiency problem where it's doing all it can, or a sizing issue. And Tim sees this in the field all the time, and I'll kind of let him talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, so like Lacey mentioned, if the system's covered under the warranty, most major brands are going to come with a 10-year parts warranty. It almost always makes sense to repair at that point. It reduces the cost quite a bit. But once you get out of that warranty, if you have a major component failure, and she kind of touched on some of those, it's at least time to consider, is it time to take that money that you're going to spend on that repair and put it toward a new system. Anytime you get past the 10-year mark with the way that technology advances, your system's going to be more efficient. Any new system is going to be more efficient than one that's 10 years old. So you're going to use less energy with the new system. You're going to get a new warranty. Does it make sense to replace it so that you have that peace of mind with a new warranty? Now there's other times where even if you don't have a component failure, is your system 15 to 20 years old, or even more? Maybe we talked about some of them last that or are still running at that point. Sometimes it just makes sense to replace it for those things, for the energy efficiency, for the peace of mind of the new system, so that you're not thinking, all right, this thing's 22 years old. Am I going to be stuck on the hottest day of the year with no air conditioning, or the coldest day of the year with no heat? So sometimes it makes sense to really consider it, even if the system is still working at that time.
Yeah, it's really important to be proactive, especially as we've talked about before with the refrigerant changes, the industry's changes. We may see some gaps in inventory as the manufacturers are rolling out the transition from the 410A to the 454B. So you don't want to be in the middle of summer or in the dead of winter and down and out for potentially a few weeks. You really want to be proactive and get in front of that. And there are incentives. In the fall, we have manufacturer rebates. There are federal tax credits up to $2,000 for qualifying systems, as well as the Energize Delaware program for qualifying systems as well. So there are incentives to help you make that decision to replace the system ahead of time and get it back under warranty and start seeing some of the benefits of the energy efficiency.
Yeah, which some of that ultimately is the cost of your monthly bill. It's a big cost up front to replace it, but ultimately that monthly bill might go down if your system's working properly.
And the new systems, Tim can maybe expand on this a little bit more. You would experience more comfort levels compared to a system that's 15, 25 years old.
Yeah, absolutely. To kind of back to the technology advances, there's systems that are multi-stage, variable speed speed, and they really help to provide a more comfortable house versus a lot of what people have 15, 20 years ago, single stage systems. So if we can increase the efficiency and add comfort to the house, that's a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you are a homeowner that's kind of up against this decision, do I replace, do I repair, Coastal Comfort are the people you want to call, because they are going to hold your hand and walk you through that decision. So how can people do that?
Definitely always online, coastalcomfort.com, and then 302-629-4700.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, Lacey, Tim, thank you guys for coming back and again, keeping us informed. Like I say it every time they're here. I feel like I walk away so much smarter because I don't know anything when it comes to HVAC systems, and that's why we're here.
Yep, I appreciate it.
Well, thank you guys again for coming in, and we've got some more CoastLife for you, so stick around.